Howdy, folks. This is J.C. Phillips, the Ozark Bushman. I want to talk to a subject on how to choose a survival knife. Now, we've all seen the Rambo movies from 1980 starring Sylvester Stallone, and that's where the big craze tag survival knife came from, where the first two movies, he used the hollow handle knife, the pommel unscrews, and it's got all that survival, matches and bullshit in the end. But in reality, those knives are going to break on you because the knife is only like a half tang, which a full tang knife is where a blade runs, I'll show you, all the way through like so. See how the blade runs all the way through the handle and all the way to the butt here. That right there is what you call a full tang knife. And that is only thing I will buy in a fixed blade knife. Now, if you're wanting to get a survival knife, I recommend a fixed blade knife because a folding knife will break on you. So stay away from those cheap ass hollow handle survival knives. I know they're cool. They look awesome in the movies with the Rambo movies. Hell yeah, I own the whole Rambo set 1 through 4, and I'm a big fan of those. But when it comes to I'll show you in this catalog, actually, look at this shit. They're like $100 a piece. Yeah, they look fancy and all, but I'm telling you right now, the money, the putting towards these is a waste because these are like more made for, shelf show knives. These two especially here, because these are the two hollow handles used from First Blood and First Blood Part 2. And then the third knife, I used to actually own the first and the third knife, and I ended up selling them to a pawn shop years ago in my 20s because they were just too fancy and, for what they are. I mean, they're signature knives from the movies. They're worth more keeping on a shelf or showcase or whatever than they are of practical use. A lot of that's because, it's a brand name who made these. And the fact that the third knife here, it was so heavy that when I carried it on my belt, it about pulled my pants down. It's so heavy. And it's not even a full tang knife. Because I know this because I looked the specs up on Google.com about all these knives. And this Rambo 3 knife is a rat tail, which a rat tail is when the blade goes through the handguard and through the handle, and instead of it being a full thick tang, it's like a little bitty piece of metal that runs through the handle and connects to the end of the knife. So yeah, these may be cool and all, but leave these to the movies and get something that's full tang and is actually practical, constructive use. The only one from I'll say, we talk survival knives from the Rambo movies I would actually use, survival-wise, bushcraft-wise, will be the one, these are the Bud K catalogs, will be this one here, made by Gil Hibben, which is, it's full tang. It's I think 18 inches long. It's just one big slab of metal wrapped with paracord or some kind of shoestring wrap. Well, I'm not quite sure. I haven't read all the specs on this, but this one's I think $50 because it's one hunk of metal and it's not going to break on you because this is not 1095 carbon steel. But the only reason of if you're going to go any of the Rambo knives, I'd recommend the fourth one because it's full tang. The only downsides about that knife is it's heavy. From the reviews on Amazon.com, because I've considered buying it too, put it in my collection, even for use, because all the knives I buy is not shit you put on a shelf to look at. All the stuff I buy is stuff that you can actually use out in the field and out in the bush. So I would recommend, if that just suits your fancy and tickles your pickle, to get a Rambo signature knife, get the fourth one if you're going to use it out in the woods. But otherwise, I'm going to go through a series of knives that I recommend that you could use. Because the military, for once, uses 3 different companies to make military knives for them. One is Ka-Bar, the other is Ontario Knife Company, and the third one is SOG. Now, I have a little bit of each here, I'm going to show you. And these run about $65, $75. Can't forget the U.S. Marine Ka-Bar here. As you can see, it says USMC. Now, this is not a Chinese knockoff. This is the real freaking deal right here, boys and girls. See, it says K-Bar Olean, New York. Leather stack handles. I also got the other one with the Kraton and the Kydex sheath for waterproof. So I have one of each. USMC on the sheath. Now, don't be fooled, because there's a lot of these Chinese knockoffs, say Marine Combat Knife, follows U.S. Marine Corps bullshit, which you can get off, like Bud King, all that shit. They're $20. They're cheap Chinese bullshit. They suck. You know how I know they suck? Because I looked at the reviews on Amazon, and people say how the handles come off and everything. But no, if you're gonna get the real deal, get the real U.S. Marine K-Bar. Spend the money and get it right here. This is what the military's been using since the 1940s of World War II. But if you want to go a little bit cheaper, exact same thing, you can also get the Ontario SP1 Marine Combat. Exact same steel as the Marine Corps K-Bar. Both are full tank construction. The only difference is, if you can see, the Ontario on the right in my hand is about a little bit thicker, almost about a quarter inch thick. Just a little bit shy, more thicker than the K-Bar. And the price range is a little bit cheaper too. You're looking about $20, $25 cheaper. These run about $45, $50. So this is another recommended if you're pinching pennies. Then the next one, this is another full tang. This is a hell of a fucking knife. This is the Schrade SCHF 9 Extreme Survival. Look at that. This son of a bitch is 1/4 inch thick. Nice rubber grips. This thing is made for survival. You can even baton with this, or you can. I've even hacked some tree limbs with this son of a bitch. But this one right here runs about $45, $50. I think I got it for $50 at Bass Pro. But that's like I'm saying, you need something that you're going to depend your life on, and with something full tang, especially this thick, I'd recommend. See, this is more of an very outdoors knife. See how the way the blade shape is? It got some curvature for cutting. And your Marine Combat knives are here, are multi-use. They're fighting utility knives. But like I said, the military's used them for survival situations because that's what they're issued in the field. But if you really want to go cheap and you're on a budget, you want to go poor man's survival knife here, you can go with, like the first one I was showing you, about the Tang, Mossy Oak knives. They're about $20 at Walmart. About 90% of them they make are full tang. I haven't actually used this one yet, but it's in my collection. I'm planning on using it. It's very lightweight, but I'd recommend this cheap knife over those hollow-handled, stupid fucking survival knives they made in the 80s. Or if you, and a lot of people ask, they're like, okay, well, what's the right size for a survival knife? I'd say something practical, but it just depends on how the person, I'd say, like how big you are, or what you can handle or carry in a backpack or a bug out bag. Like this that MTech MT151 right here, it's full tang. I think I paid like $25 for this. And I've used it out in the field, and it's a 1/4 inch thick. Rubberized handle, waterproof handle. But see, I'm a bigger guy, so like I do like bigger knives. Such as the other Schrade I have here, the SCHF 45 Leroy. This is like an 18-inch fucking Crocodile Dundee kill some fucking critters knife, I'm telling you. But this is made for fucking bushcraft. I mean, it is huge. How thick that spine is. Full tang construction, as you can see. This one here is almost too heavy to carry on a daily basis. I found that out the first time I took it out in the woods and started doing some survival shelter building. And I couldn't believe how heavy it was just to carry on my hips. So I use this as a secondary bushcraft knife. So like I said, folks, it just depends on what you're willing to carry and what's practical. If you're a muscular person, you think you can wield that, then by God, go fucking buy it and try it out. You don't know until you buy a variety of knives and you find out which one you like best. But I'm going to tell you right now, if any survival situation, I'd have to say this one right here would be what I'd use. This is another Ontario knife. This is the Ontario SP10 Marine Raider. Got this for $80, Bass Pro Shops in Springfield. Rubberized handle. I put this thing to so much fucking abuse and hell that it seems nearly indestructible. 1095 carbon steel with this coating. Starting to peel a little bit there, but I mean, that's because I've chopped logs this fucking big and baton logs this big like that with it. But yeah, this right here, it would be my favorite knife. But then going back to budget knives, I'm talking Mossy Oak's a good one you find at Walmart, whatever. Also, or get on Amazon, or so like Buck K Catalog has them too. If you're really on a budget, these knives here, these are these little mini survival knives. They come with a little sheath. They come with a ferro rod with a handle, and then some of them have whistles on the end. This one doesn't, but these are like anywhere from $7 to like $10. See, here's it is. This one actually says on the site Survivor. But you can't beat this for the weight. This is perfect to throw in a bug out bag, in your car, on your hip, because they're so lightweight. That's why I bought one for me and one for my wife, because they're so tiny. Like this one here, this one's more practical for her because she's a lady. She has smaller hands. See how my big masculine hands are so wrapped around it? I mean, I could use it, but I have to watch my finger here if I'm choking down, trying to do some like fine work or whatever. So I ended up getting myself this one. It's a little bit bigger. It's about 12 inches long, give or take. Let's see the full tank construction with the cord wrap handle. Blade goes all the way to the end of the pommel here. And it also comes with a sheath with a ferro rod and for fire starting. And like I said, this one was like $10. You can get off Amazon, eBay, whatever. But they're so lightweight. There's hardly any weight to them. They got a good balance to them, as you can see. But if you're in a pinch and you want to get one, I suggest anybody just go ahead and buy like a handful of these and stick one in your car, your bug out bag. Any place that you can just reach and grab for emergency, whatever. Because if you ain't got a lot of money, this will be the first thing you go to. Like I said, stay away from those fucking cheap ass survival knives with the hollow handles. The only thing those are good for is to put it on the end of a stick and use it for a spear to kill some gamer with. Anyway, I hope y'all like my video. Hope this gives you insight on how to choose your own survival knife. The choice is yours. Those are Bushman signing off.